Hey guys, what's up? Bob here. Welcome to a new deck profile. This is my Halloween themed deck. We are profiling my Ghostrick Skeleton Mill deck. If you guys don't know what Ghostricks are, they're Halloween themed. They're pretty, a lot of people think they're like really cute. I really like a couple of them, so I wanted to build their deck. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about what exactly Ghostrick Skeleton Mill is. So, as the name might imply, we are running 3 copies of Ghostrick Skeleton. He is our main guy for the deck. So his effect, I don't know if you can see it, if it's in focus or whatever, but his deal is basically when you flip him face up, banish a number of cards from the top of your opponent's deck face down, up to, or equal to the number of Ghostricks you currently control. So basically you're banishing cards from the top of your deck. You're milling them. Those cards are pretty much gone forever unless they have like a necro face or something. And basically you're just using this over and over to deck your opponent out. That's the goal of the deck. And it's really neat because basically the more you do it, the more of their combo pieces you're banishing, which means it gets easier as the duel goes on. It's pretty funny. So that's basically the idea of this guy. So to help him do that, we are running 3 Ghostrick Jiangshi. When this one's flip face up, you get to add a Ghostrick whose level is equal to or less than the number of Ghostricks you currently control. So, and all of them have the effect that they can flip themselves face down. So, you can use them over and over. That's your win con. So Jiangshi, you tend to search the hand traps, which we'll get to later. But basically, he's just your searcher. He's not anywhere near as good as like a Stratos or whatever. Just because he's level dependent and stuff, but still pretty good. Then 3 copies, and this is a really important one, 3 copies of Ghostrick Doll. Now, you might not know this one. It came out a while after a lot of the other ones, but basically her effect is when she's flip face up, her effect activates. Her and Skeleton are both mandatory effects. Keep that in mind. During the end phase of the turn she's flip face up, flip all monsters on the field face down. Then you can summon a Ghostrick from your deck whose level is equal to or less than the number of monsters flipped face down by this effect. And this is all monsters on the field. So you flip down you basically Book of Eclipse your opponent while resetting all of your Ghostricks so that they can use their effect again. That's basically the idea for this. Unfortunately, it is mandatory, which is good because it doesn't miss timing, but it's bad because it kind of messes you up if you flip her during your turn. We'll get into that later. So you have to play her a little bit smart, but she's so good that it really outweighs any negatives that are attached to it. You pretty much always get to flip all your opponent's stuff face down, and you usually get to summon like a skeleton or whatever. So you're pretty much able to start milling their stuff really early on, and that's exactly what you want to do. So I said hand traps before. Let's go ahead and look at some of them, because that's it for the decently high level monsters. Everything else is level 1. So 3 copies of Ghostrick Mary. When you take damage, discard her, special summon a Ghostrick from your deck face down. Super good. Basically, anytime you would take a hit, immediately get a free Ghostrick. Then 3 copies of Ghostrick Lantern. If your Ghostrick monster, or if you would be attacked, so like if your opponent declares a direct attack, which they can do while you have monsters on the field, we'll show you how that happens later. Special summon it from your hand in face down defense position, negate the attack. So you can protect your guys, get some field presence. It's really good. It's important. Then 3 copies of Ghostrick Lantern. If your opponent attacks you directly, flip the opponent's monster face down and summon him from your hand. So like in face down defense position. So basically, you can stop an attack while getting some field presence, and it also flips them face down, and it does not target. So that's really good. Anything that can't be targeted usually can be kind of annoying, but Jack Frost can get around that, so that's cool. And then 2 copies of Ghostrick Spectre. Now, he's my favorite one visually, but because I like his face, I like his googly eyes and stuff. But he is when a Ghostrick card or a Ghostrick monster you control is destroyed. This can be battle or card effect. Special summon him from your hand in face down defense position and draw a card. So basically, it kind of it's never as good as the card that was destroyed because it's just kind of like a one drop, but like it's really nice to just be able to get that, keep your field presence while not losing your hand. So I like it. So that's it for the monsters. You can run hand traps in this if you want, but you still won't keep up with the meta. It's better to just run a lot of combo pieces and then just try to push through them. Honestly, you don't actually have that much of a problem pushing through hand traps if you play it smart. So yeah, just try it. So, spells. Triple Ghostrick Parade, which is a field spell, and 1 Ghostrick Mansion, which is also a field spell. Ghostricks actually have 3 field spells, but these are the ones that you want to run. So, Parade. Basically, Parade and Mansion share the effect that neither player can attack face-down defense position monsters, but if all monsters a player controls are face-down defense position monsters, the opponent can attack them directly. So, basically, in both of these cases, you're taking the hits to protect your monsters which are hiding. That's kind of the idea. Now, Ghostrick Mansion comes with the secondary effect that it halves all damage done by anything other than Ghostrick monsters. So, it definitely lessens the blows. Unfortunately, that's not as relevant for this because you generally don't attack. But it can still be relevant just to protect you late game. So honestly, like I'll usually try to keep Parade up during the early game and mid game, and then late game I'll activate a Mansion, and then like once I'm already set up, that way I can just keep myself from getting hit too hard. Parade, on the other hand, is a little bit more interesting. Basically, as long as it's on the field, your opponent can't take damage. None. No effect damage, no monster like battle damage, anything like that. But the plus side is, every time your opponent declares an attack, you get to add a Ghostrick card. Not just a monster, you can add a monster, spell, or trap from your deck to your hand. Now, generally speaking, you're going to want to add like Jack Frost and Lantern, but you can also add Mary. So if you open with like a Lantern or something, your opponent declares an attack, you summon this, and search a Jack Frost or another Lantern. Then if they try to attack with something else, immediately do the same, and you can just keep doing this. It's not once per turn. So you can just keep your opponent from attacking you, like, pretty much at all. And that's super relevant. Like, you want to be able to stop your opponent from killing you. So the other nice thing that you can do with it, if your opponent only has 1 monster, you can let that attack go through. When they declare an attack, search Mary, and then when you take the damage, you can discard her and summon any Ghostrick from your deck. So that's really nice. Basically, it just lets you do stuff during your opponent's turn and just keep your board growing while your opponent is trying to attack you. And that's really what the deck is wanting to do. Now, obviously, since these field spells are so important, we are running triple terraforming. I have experimented with, set rotation. The only thing is, if your opponent doesn't activate the field spell that you set on their side of the field, and they destroy yours, then you're kind of out of luck and you just lose. So I don't like that as much. Now, obviously, you can use it, and it's great if you do, but the downsides, like, you do just lose, like, a good portion of the time when you activate it, so I don't like it as much. So, the rest of the spells are pretty simple. 1 day apiece. You're trying to mill your opponent, so letting them draw 1 isn't that big a deal. And then you draw 1 and no damage, and it's just good. And 1 Book of Moon, it's just got really good synergy. You can try Book of Eclipse, but I don't like the fact that it flips their monsters face up at the end of the turn. Now, obviously, like I said, you can try it, like, just because, having them draw, like, 4 or 5 cards, in addition to being milled, like, 5 or 6 every turn, can be really brutal, but it's not worth it to let them have their monsters back. And then a couple of Twisters, just to get rid of back row. Pretty self-explanatory there. So for traps, and these are the really important ones. 3 copies of Ghostrick Scare. This is the best one. Basically, when you activate it, you flip as many face-down defense position monsters as you'd like face up. Then flip monsters your opponent controls face down equal to or up to the number of Ghostricks you flip face up. So basically, you just flip all your stuff face up, get all their effects, flip all your opponent's stuff face down, and you can disrupt them with that. It's really good. To go along with that, 2 copies of Ghostrick Knight. As long as you control a Ghostrick, your opponent can't flip monsters face up. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's it's just, or they can't flip summon. I think that's what it is. Yeah, they can't flip summon. They can flip stuff up with card effects, but a lot of decks, unless they're like Subterrors or Crawlers, don't have ways to do that. So, yeah. Anyway, Knight is just going to let you keep your opponent's stuff face down and just kind of not let them play. So that's good. Then 2 copies of Ghostrick vanish. Basically, this one, reveal a Ghostrick in your hand. For the rest of the turn, Ghostrick monsters, or Ghostrick cards you control, as well as face-down defense position monsters. So all your Ghostrick like spell traps, as well as your face-down monsters, can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So it's a really neat, searchable way to stop getting destroyed by Raigeki and stuff. So I like it. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all it's got. And then last Ghostrick trap is a copy of Ghostrick Break. And Break is if a Ghostrick you control is destroyed, special summon 2 Ghostricks from your graveyard with different names than the destroyed monster. It's a searchable one-of. It's pretty good. Nice thing is you can use it to bring back like your skeleton, your doll, all that stuff. And you can also use it to bring back like an Xyz monster. And there are plays that you can do with that, and it's pretty handy. So yeah, it's a pretty good card. And then last trap card in the deck, 1 copy of Jar of Avarice. Now the reason that Jar of Avarice is good, you can return any 5 cards from your graveyard to your deck. The drawing a card, it helps. It's not super relevant, but basically the idea there is you want to recycle your copies of Ghostrick Scare. And the reason you're okay with running one of this is because, generally speaking, with your Ghostrick Parade and all your other ways of searching stuff, you're going to chew through a lot of your deck pretty early, so you tend to actually really consistently draw this later on, and that's exactly when you want to draw it, like, because then you can just recycle all your stuff and keep your plays going. So, yeah, 1 copy of this, I've tested it at 2, I even tested it at 3 for a little while, but 2, I kept drawing it early, and that was kind of bad. Like I said, I want to draw it mid to late game so I can use it its effect to the fullest and recycle my scares. That's the main thing. And then, of course, you can also recycle your hand traps and use them more. So that's cool. And then for the extra deck, and I'm going to start a little bit weird. I'm going to start with the main combo piece in the extra deck, Ghostrick Angel of Mischief, a 3-of. Now, she's got a couple of different effects. They're not all super relevant, but the first one, or like the main one, is the most relevant effect in the deck, except for Skeleton, obviously. So you can rank her up from any Ghostrick Xyz you want. So like anytime you Xyz with a Ghostrick, you can immediately go into this. Once per turn, you can detach a material and then add 1 Ghostrick spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Super good. And then the other effects are, you can attach a material, any Ghostrick card from your hand to her material, and that's a once per turn, which is pretty good. It's not the best thing ever, but it helps. Like, sometimes you just have her on the field and you run out of materials, so you can just like keep adding and searching and stuff. So that's pretty good. The last effect is actually a win condition that we don't use. Although you can threaten. I've threatened my opponent with it before to immediately draw out their answer to it, which was good because that way I could, continue my plays. But basically the win condition that she has, if she has 10 materials attached to her, you win the game. And obviously you can, attach stuff as much as you want. It's not that good. It's not bad, but it's not like, you're going to win every game with this. But I don't know, it's kind of neat. So yeah, basically she's super relevant for the fact that you can rank her up super easy and the fact that you can detach to search. So let's talk about the stuff that you rank up into her. 3 copies of Ghostrick Alucard, 3 copies of Ghostrick Dullahan, and then 1 copy of Ghostrick So Cute Boss. She's not good. Let's get rid of her. So Cute Boss doesn't really do anything. She can pop a monster whose attack is less than the total attack of all Ghostricks you control. But none of your monsters have any attacks, so she's not good. But these 2 are really good. These 2 are super relevant. You summon this one a bit more frequently, but this one's better. But this one's super easy to summon. So basically, this one has an irrelevant attack gain effect when you summon it. It's got another effect that you can detach a material, lower the attack of an opponent's monster by half. So, it's okay. The last effect, though, if it's sent to the graveyard, and this is anytime this card hits the graveyard, you get to add a Ghostrick card from your graveyard to your hand. This can be any Ghostrick, so you usually use it on your copies of Ghostrick Scare, because that's your best trap card. You can use this to recycle your traps or your hand traps over and over, just like, you know, be able to keep your plays going. And even in Link format, this stuff is not bad. So basically, Alucard has a similar effect. He has the same effect, actually. If he hits the graveyard by any means, add a Ghostrick card from your graveyard to your hand. And again, you usually use that to recycle your traps and stuff. His other effect is that you can detach material and pop a set card. So you tend to flip your opponent's monsters face down, but generally you want to pop their spells and traps. But you can do whatever you want, honestly. Like, it's all good. And then, of course, you can rank up into Angel of Mischief with these. Detach them, search a card from your deck, and then add a card back from your graveyard. So you're, like, going super plus with this. So that's really good. The rest of the extra deck is just random irrelevant stuff that I never summoned. It's just, like, stuff that I figured could come up, but it hasn't. But, yeah. So these ones are the important ones. And Angel of Mischief is your, like, I guess, boss monster. You use her to search the stuff that protects your skeleton, and then you keep milling your opponent. And the neat thing is, we're actually going to get some support for this. I think it comes out in, like, February or something. It's a new trap, and it's got two effects. One of them is okay-ish, and the other one's amazing. So basically, the idea is if you have it set, you can flip it, activate it at any time. Obviously, it's a trap card. So I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. Return a Ghostrick field spell to your hand, and then activate a Ghostrick field from your deck. Which is, I don't know, it's not super relevant. It can just cycle them out of your deck so that you have, a replacement in hand if your current one gets popped. You can dodge, like, Twisters and MST and stuff. I don't know, it's okay. But the more relevant effect is, if it's in your graveyard, banish it from your graveyard, target one Ghostrick Xyz you control, special summon one Ghostrick Xyz from your extra deck, using the monster you control as material, and then all the material attached to that go to the new monster. Now you're probably wondering, Bob, why does that matter? You've already got, Angel of Mischief that you can rank up for free. Nice thing is, you can rank her down with this. So basically, say I have, like, Skeleton Jiangshi on the field, right? I'm going to overlay them into an Alucard. Then, in this deck, let's say we're just running this deck, I'm going to go ahead and detach one, pop an opponent's card, then overlay that into Angel of Mischief. Detach Alucard, I'll get a search, and I'll get to add one card back from grave, right? Then, I activate this card in my grave, banish it, rank her down into another Alucard. Now I've got Alucard on the field. I can detach one, pop an opponent's card, then immediately rank it up again, detach, add another, trap or whatever from my deck. Let's say we search at night this time. And then I'm going to get another search out of the graveyard, so say I want my Vanish back. So I can, take that, an Xyz monster, and turn it into an Xyz monster and a +4. So I guess it's like a +3 or whatever. Anyway, it's super good. You get to add all the stuff that you want. And then the other idea that you can do, and this is a lot less detaching, but basically you go, you make your guy, make this, activate her effect, attach a material from your hand, activate the graveyard effect of the other one, rank it down, then rank it up again, again activate the effect, attach a material from hand. So you go like -2 from hand, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 materials on this, right? So say you have 2 of them in your graveyard. You can, rank it down again, rank it up, if I can find the last one. Where is she? She's around here somewhere. But, just rank her up again, activate her effect again, and then you're at, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 10. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if you add 2 of them, you can just win. That's basically That's shenanigans, if you ask me. But you can use it with Foolish Barrier of Goods. You can use it with a lot of different stuff and just, go ham. So that's basically the idea for that. I don't know. It's kind of neat. I can't wait till that comes out because I'm gonna do all sorts of plays. But for right now, Ghostrick Skeleton Mill is where it's at. He's the best. He's cool. So basically, like I said, you're just going to be using his effect during each of your turns, and ideally, if you can get enough scares cycling, each of your opponent's turns as well. Banishing like say 3 or 4, possibly 5 or 6 cards from their deck face down, and you can deck them out like that. So that's the idea. That's Ghostrick Skeleton Mill for you. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it, and I really enjoy playing this deck at locals. Like, I don't play for the actual tournament. I have a serious deck for that. But for just fun duels against my friends and stuff, this is definitely an interesting way to go. So hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.